Welcome, summoners, to Games Cast by Panda Neuro. If you wish to see more commented games, follow my social media pages below. Okay, looks like we do have Dragonborn versus M in this game. As we can see, Dragonborn has picked up Zen Zhao, Sivir, Twisted Fate, Sona, and Jax, while M has picked up the Lulu, Olaf, Israel, Amumu, and Wukong. I actually like the choice of the Sivir, combined with all those heavy auto-attacking champions on Dragonborn. She pops her ultimate, Zen Zhao and Jax will go absolutely nuts, getting a large amount of attack speed. In addition to that, he's got a lot of CC with 2 AoE stuns and several other kind of single-target CC abilities. For the M side, they do have Olaf's ability to run around through all that crowd control and get to the back line, either shutting down Twisted Fate or Sivir. Either one of them is going to have a really hard time, as there's even more AoE abilities coming out from M, even though they are ultimates. As you have Amumu's ultimate, Wukong's ultimate, and even Lulu's ultimate for a nice knockup. And they can throw all those together to keep Israel safe, or dive in deep if someone should get caught out. This should be a very interesting game, as both teams are pretty stacked this game, and it's going to be really close, I should hope, as M and Dragonborn both done very well in other games this tournament. And it looks like we are about to get it started with Zen Zhao in the jungle, and we are going to have Amumu in the jungle for M. And I think the Amumu Wukong combo is going to be absolutely insane if they can pull that off, because you get an AoE knock up and then an AoE root, or the other way around depending upon how they combo it. And it's just a ridiculous amount of damage. Because if they get the knock up first, they can just continue to keep everyone in that Wukong ultimate. It does just more and more damage the longer it goes on. It's pretty ridiculously how much damage it does. The problem with Wukong is he just doesn't have an easy lane anywhere. He'll probably go off into the mid lane or even top, but I do think it'll be a mid lane Wukong. He will go against Twisted Fate, and he should do just fine against Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate not exactly that great at applying pressure. He's really good at just farming from a distance and making pressure happen with his ultimate. He can set up something decent with Zen Zhao though, but Wukong will actually be able to dodge all the cards he wants, because he can pop his clone the second the card's locked in and thrown, and he'll be hit while stealthed, so it can't really be followed up on as well. Looks like they're actually interesting for the Dragonborn side, as they do have 2 exhaust on Twisted Fate and exhaust on Sona. And Twisted Fate usually wants to go with Ignite to kind of get that finishing blow, but this time he has decided to go for exhaust, while there are no exhausts on the M side of things, as M has opted for the barrier on Israel, teleport on Wukong for some of that global action. And if Twisted Fate tries to go anywhere, Wukong could easily counter that with his teleport. And I think that's why he took it. It does hurt him as a summoner spell, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Sivir also wisely picking out Cleanse, as she will be able to cleanse out of Lulu's CC or the Amumu CC. She won't be able to cleanse out of Wukong CC, as it is a knockup and you can't cleanse out of knockups. But here we go. Looks like we do have Amumu starting with a very heavy support page, as he picked up the Explorer's Ward and Biscuit. In addition to everyone just picking up a ton of potions, including several of the crystalline flasks, though we're not seeing a single crystalline flask over on the Dragonborn side. They must be trying to invade or something, because they picked up multiple boots, even a cloth armor out from Jax. But M is doing the wise thing. They're going to guard Amumu's blue buff after throwing off a ward near the race. Even if it's a very early ward, any ward is better than none. They are spotted out here, as Sivir is spotted. Olaf will miss the axe, but force Sivir to take Spell Shield first. Olaf misses another axe, and Sivir should be just fine, but she had to burn and pick up Spell Shield first. That should be a very nice advantage in lane, should they want to take it, as she doesn't have her boomerang for a good while. Amumu could jump up, and will he actually do so? No, he will not. Wukong does jump in. Lots of damage on Zen Zhao, but Zen Zhao does flash away. He is ignited. But no ignite no flash on Zen Zhao, and only the ignite on Olaf burned. That's a pretty good trade, as Zen Zhao won't be able to jump in the jungle. Olaf still continuing. Bandage toss on Amumu lands. Jax does pop the counter strike. Wukong jumps in there, but does get stunned. Ezreal does land the missing shot. Axe lands on Jax, and Jax is forced to flash away. And Mumu is forced to stop bandage toss, which is going to hurt. But it's not that bad, especially compared to all those flashes burned. And the red team could easily stay and do blue buff if they wanted to. But I think they are just going to go back to their side. No, they're going to continue to sit around here and wait for Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate does spot them out. And he will be caught by Wukong, and he will be forced to flash here. No, he won't, as Olaf just doesn't get in there in time. Olaf taking a good bit of damage. But the knock-up is just enough, and Zenzai will be taken down for first blood by Wukong. M doing a very good job in this level 1 fight. They will try to get a counter kill on Wukong, but Amumu lands another bandage toss, and Jax is pretty low. He does not have his flash. Double kill by Wukong. Though Wukong is taken out there by Twisted Fate on the end, but 2 kills on Wukong is really deadly. That means Wukong can pick up that longsword, and they are going to get a blue steal here, as Zenzai is nowhere in the area. And I wonder if they're going to actually give this blue buff to... No, Amumu's just going to take it for himself. And the wise thing throughout all this, Ezreal was able to go down bottom and pick up a little bit of farm, pick up the experience without actually losing any time there. While Olaf will beat Jax and get a really quick level 2. And Jax is going to be in a world of trouble as Olaf is an amazing top laner, and he should apply a lot of pressure. Sinzao is forced to start red. Will he try to actually counter jungle? I think it's probably not a very smart idea. He's in very bad shape. Sivir has hit level 2, so that start of the spell shield wasn't too bad. Olaf jumping in on Jax is just going to take a lot of damage here. Olaf's in a much better position thanks to having a ton of potions, though the cloth armor is a pretty good option for him, as it will prevent a good bit of that auto attack harassment. Big wave building up down bottom as Sivir tries to get on this Ezreal. Will Ezreal shift away? Yes, he will, and be just fine as Jax tries to jump on Olaf. Olaf is in a bit of trouble, but I think Olaf's just a tiny bit faster, and he can throw out another axe if he so chooses in a moment. Sivir pops her spell shield down bottom, but not much happening, as it is going to go back to a fairly even game. Though those 2 kills on Wukong are really nice, as he does not have a very easy lane. But he does get that early sword, and allows him to trade far better. And we are not going to see any ganks from Zenzao anytime soon. He's at 3 CS. He's in a really just bad position overall. And he's not going to have any fun this game. Looks like Ezreal has gotten pretty low, but Sivir does not have enough mana for a boomerang. She's just a tiny bit short. And if she does pick it up over the next few seconds, she will be able to kill Ezreal, but Ezreal has to go back. So Lulu will be able to pick up a little bit of CS. Though Ezreal is only down by 4 CS at this point, it's not too bad, considering he wasn't a 2v1 lane for a while, and his team is really snowballing rather nicely. We do have... Let's see here. Looks like we're going to jump on Twisted Fate with Zenzao coming up there. Zenzao might just want to sit in this lane for a moment and steal some experience. He is just pretty far behind at this point. Looks like Sona and Sivir have had to go back. Sivir does pick up a Duran's Blade in addition to having boots. Same thing up on Ezreal. As we do see Olaf having to go back, he does pick up a cloth armor. I expect that to go into a Ninja Tabi, as there's not a whole lot of CC that is cleansable. They've got the knockup from Zenzao. This or not cleansable, but reduced by Mercury Tread, stun on Jax and Sona, but neither one of those are really going to be used on Olaf. And he has his ultimate should he actually get hit with anything. We are just going to see more duking it out down bottom, as Ezreal will not try and pressure Sivir. Sivir is forced to back up and is wisely just kind of staying out of the range of Lulu for the moment. And I'm really going to wait to see what happens once Twisted Fate actually hits level 6. If he can hit level 6 and start roaming, he's going to have a good time, but I don't think he's going to get level 6 anytime soon. And if he doesn't start roaming, he's going to have a bit of a problem. The Wukong could jump in and pop his ultimate at any point. And if he does that, he will be able to stop it. It looks like we do have Jax get caught out here a little bit by Mumu, but the exhaust from Twisted Fate does come out, which makes everything just okay. As we do see everyone kind of back and resetting. Twisted Fate almost getting 6. Sivir taking a good bit of damage there, as Lulu's harassment is pretty strong. Sona is getting low. Ezreal will die for it and flashes away at the last second, though Ezreal is in trouble. He does pop barrier, and Cleanse is popped on Sivir, meaning both parties will stay alive. But that is a much bigger one for Ezreal, though. Lulu flashes in and picks off the kill. Nice use of the flash there by Lulu, just waiting for Sivir to get a little greedy, thinking everything has been burned. but it hadn't been, and she picks up a kill. Looks like Amumu's trying to get a kill on Twisted Fate, but he's just not in range. As we are going to see bottom lane for M really pushing it hard onto this tower. They want to deny as many minions as they can, and they really want to deal some good damage to the tower, so it's actually a thought about, hey, we have to protect this bottom tower. Xin Zhao is spotted out in the woods again, and he is not having any fun. He's completed his Madrid's Razor. Jack's likely going to go for a Phage after the quick cloth armor and boots. We are going to see a Spirit Stone up on Amumu. Wukong has grabbed, I believe that's Home Guard, in addition to the boots of mobility, meaning he can run really fast. Though I'm not sure how he's going to use it other than using it in conjunction with Teleport, as that wouldn't be a terrible idea to run around the map and keep up with Twisted Fate. You would actually have to be back at base for that to happen. We are going to have Amumu kind of waiting in the wings, looking to try and grab up the second blue buff, as he's kind of just waiting for Twisted Fate to rotate over and try and pick it up. There are pings on it as Amumu does bandage toss over the wall, and we are going to see Olaf coming down there, and they should meet up with Jax in just a moment. Looks like Sona and Sivir are not in the best of shape, though Lulu does take a lot of damage from that boomerang. As we do see, it looks like Amumu and Olaf did steal the blue buff. I'm not sure who picked it up. We have Wukong coming down there with the Home Guard teleport, and he does jump on there, and the nice knock up on Sona finishes her off, and any wards in the area, and there is just no chance of anything happening or any way of the blue team escaping a gank like that. Top Olaf just pressuring up top, though Twisted Fate does pop his ultimate trying to get on Ezreal down bottom. Ezreal is not even going to get hit yet, which is why the camera doesn't switch there. And if anything does happen down bottom, Twisted Fate does take a few hits, but that's a kind of wasted ultimate. He was likely using it to protect the bottom tower, but the camera never switched over there for us to see. Up top, it looks like Jack's taking a good bit of damage from Olaf, but Olaf is just fine, as there is no real return damage, and it looks like Amumu and Lulu are waiting. Will they catch Sona out? Yes, they will. Sona is in a lot of trouble here as they jump and burst her down. Dragonborn not having a good time this game after giving up those early kills, and that has meant a whole lot as it allowed Wukong to actually stay alive in the lane. Olaf pops his ultimate, but Xin Zhao is here, and the ultimate plus Ghost, he is not going to be stopped. And this Xin Zhao has had real troubles this game. He's not been able to get anything going. Every single lane is down. It looks like Sivir might be caught out here. Amumu with a bandage toss in just a moment should be able to pick her up. She is going to try and do a good bit of damage, but she's not getting out of this. Bandage toss is blocked, but Ezreal is there to finish her off, and even if she did try and flash over the wall, Lulu was sitting there waiting. Perfectly played by this M team, and they are looking really good. They looked really great yesterday, and they were looking even better today, especially against Dragonborn, who, even though they had one difficult game thanks to their team comp, they really snowballed the second game. And this is not looking good for Dragonborn. They just do not have a real good option to go to here, other than the Twisted Fate ultimate, but that is down as it was wasted early. Ezreal just going to pop his ultimate across to kill a few minions and likely try and push this tower down. It's at about a quarter health, so he should have a nice time with it. I don't think Sona really wants to contest it. Xin Zhao and Sivir are coming up here, but they're not going to be there in time. Ezreal could just back away, and minions will finish off the tower, making that the first tower of the game taken by M. We do see Lulu picking up a Philosopher's Stone. Boots of mobility up onto Amumu and Wukong. Amumu likely going to go for the Sunfire Cape up next. Olaf going to take down this top tower in a few moments, though he is out of mana, so he can't duel Jax very well. We do have Twisted Fate being pinged on in the mid lane, as Wukong is just going to continually push this lane so Twisted Fate can't roam and gank very well. Xin Zhao does jump up, but not in range. The Wukong does jump in, pops his ultimate. Mumu will land bandage toss, and he does throw his ultimate out, and that means Wukong will be able to get away. But the red buff tick from Mumu does finish off Xin Zhao. And that's what I was saying. That ultimate combo is ridiculous in terms of damage. And lockdown. Wukong knocked him up. Then a Mumu bandage tossed in and kept him in there the entire time. Ezreal jumping on Twisted Fate, but Twisted Fate does flash away at the last second. And Twisted Fate not in good shape at this point. He has not used his ultimate effectively this game. He has not really had an opportunity to use it effectively. But Easy Ultimate comes across and finishes him. Hey, that is not what you want to see as a Twisted Fate player. You just not being able to get into any of these fights. I mean, we're going to fight Sivir down bottom, but here comes Lulu to help out. Nice slow there. And this will be a dead Sivir, as Amumu is just way too strong at this point. And I would almost consider banning out Amumu, as this Amumu is really deadly, but Wukong's down bottom, and Xin Zhao tries to jump in, and that is going to be a dead Xin Zhao. Amumu picking up a double kill, and this Amumu is pretty legendary at this point. And it has just been a snowball from the word go for Team M, as they completely dominated that level 1 team fight, picking up 2 kills to just 1, in addition to burning a lot of other very important summoners. And there looks like there is the tower going down top. No, that's the mid tower going down. Top tower will go down in a second. We do have Amumu about to complete the Sunfire Cape. Olaf likely going to go for a Warmongs or Frozen Mallet. I think Warmongs will be just fine this game, as he doesn't really need an additional slow. They have his slow and Lulu's slow. And the massive CC combo, which we saw just a moment ago, coming out from Amumu Wukong. We do have Shirley's Reverie completed by Lulu, and she's done this virtually every single game, go for that early Shirley's Reverie. And I can't blame her for it, considering how aggressive her team likes to play. Amumu going to bandage toss in, and big damage on Jax, as Jax is going to go down here to Amumu. Though you might actually live with just a little health, as they did blow the Ignite a little early, and that does mean Olaf will go down, thanks to Sona finishing off that kill. Amumu in a bit of trouble, and he should be going down here. And that's just getting a little greedy. If they would have just backed off, they would have been fine, but they said, let's go for greed. And even though they did lose a few kills, they are still up 3-12 with a 7,000 gold lead. But the big problem there is Twisted Fate's going to get his first blue buff of the game. And that really means he should be able to gank with his ultimate again, as the blue buff means you can gank very often with his ultimate. And it is just a really powerful spell overall. Looks like we are going to see probably the Blade of the Rune King build up on Jax, as he does have the Vampiric Scepter and Duran's Blade. Yeah, he's going for the double Duran's Blade, and though he might go actually Phage. Looks like we have Israel coming in here, and Wukong will spot out Sivir, and Sivir is in a lot of trouble. She is taken down. That teleport Wukong is really deadly, and his ultimate does ridiculous amounts of damage, as he does have a Black Cleaver. And teams are finally discovering Wukong. He's a really good mid laner. He was never that great top lane, because he just had too much distance to go to the tower to be safe. But now as a mid laner, he is a real deadly force. Amumu lands advantage toss and Twisted Fate, but then there goes the ultimate, but Jax comes in, and that is not a very wise ultimate, as they just got a little too greedy. They are up 7,000 gold, but they don't want to continue trading away kills like that. We do have Twisted Fate picking up the Magi's and trying to get stacks on it. She does pick up a few there. Israel in a bit of trouble, as he does get with a gold card. Jax running in with a stun, and Jax will not land as Israel flashes away at the last second. Ultimate thrown down by Lulu, as Jax is going to continually be slowed, and I think Jax is going to have to back off until Sleep strikes up. So here comes Sivir, and there's Sona with a shutdown. Sona doing a great job this game, picking up kills all over the place. And that's something you really don't want to do. They threw away several kills there, and now it's only 6,000 gold lead, but it was over 7,000 just a moment ago. Wukong likely going to go into another Brutalizer up next. Israel has picked up a Bloodthirster going into Zeal. We do have Twisted Fate with a Magi's and Kage's lucky pick. Jack's going to go either Trinity Force or Blade of Rune King next. Xin Zhao probably going to go into early ages of the Legion, as we do have the Lock of the Iron Solari and the Philosopher's Stone up onto Sona. We do have Sivir picking up double Duran's Blades, in addition to the Berserker's Greaves and Longswords, which will likely go into a Vampiric Scepter and Bloodthirster pretty soon. But the Sivir is in pretty bad shape at the moment, sitting at 152 and only 60 CS. Looks like we will have the first dragon of the game going down at about the 16-minute mark, as the Wukong duel that, and there is no one in the area for the Dragonborn side. M has just really dominated this game, and they needed to dominate early so that their heavy physically damaged team can succeed. Unless they just want to wait late game until everyone has super amount of armor penetration. But Lulu's in a bit of trouble, but she does jump away. Twisted Fate burns his ultimate. Still not a good Twisted Fate ultimate. It's not a bad idea, but it's not successful. And the Twisted Fate, you really need successful ultimates all over the place if you want to help your team. and he has not gotten a single one this game. That one, while not very effective, it still does force Lulu Flash, but a Lulu Flash is not that important. If it had forced a flash on one of the more important characters like Ezreal or Wukong, it might have been worth it, but not on the support character. Looks like we do have Olaf running up. And he will try and get down here and steal blue buff, but blue buff is not up. Mumu going to be in the area, trying to land onto Xin Zhao. Will he land it? No, he doesn't even go for it. He just was never in range, really. And that would have been a very risky jump. The Mumu ultimate is up if you wanted to use it. Same thing with Wukong. But Wukong's teleport isn't up, so he can't run in with home guard. As he's used that teleport very effectively, picking up at least one kill with every single time he's used it. That's kind of what you want to do with the Twisted Fate ultimate. Every single time you pop the ultimate, you want to be able to pick up a kill. Looks like Jax has. They picked up a Phage. Top tower does go down. But Amumu is in a bit of trouble as that Jax does come in here and the rest of the blue side. Amumu is a little too low. Banishos does land, and will he be able to pop his ultimate? Yes, he does get his ultimate off on a few. But Sona lands a nice three-person ultimate. The Wukong jumps in there pretty low, but Olaf finishes off Sona. And just trading Mumu for all that is a pretty good deal. Ezreal jumping in, but he is exhausted as soon as he gets there. And he will not be able to pick off the kill, as there's just not enough damage. But the thing is, they're going to get another tower off this. They can easily grab that Nexus or inhibitor tower and start pushing in towards the actual inhibitor itself. They've got a lot of minions here, a whole nother minion wave coming in, and they've got a good bit of damage between those two. Olaf is going to look to push down this mid tower, as he does have a full creep wave with Canyon Minion attached. And that should be the inhibitor tower going down. Lulu's staying just a bit too long to make sure it does go down, but it does not. It lives with virtually 0 health. Though the mid tower goes down, he's really in trouble, but he does Arcane Shift away and lands those red buff slows onto Jax, as Jax will not be able to catch up. Even if he does, and Mumu is in the area with the Fade ultimate pop, but everyone just kind of runs away. Olaf gets hit by it, but Olaf's just a little too tanky at this point. He will eventually go down, as they are just kind of leaving him. But that is Olaf's second death, and he is not in any real good position. Looks like we do have Xin Zhao getting a little too deep as the ultimate goes to fly out, and there's Wukong with the home guard and is able to pick up Xin Zhao on the back end. I'm surprised he didn't just let his team go for Zen while he pursued some other opportunities. But apparently he doesn't care. He just wants to pick up kills at this point. And he is 6-2-6, playing an absolutely wonderful game. And that is one of the reasons why Wukong is a viable mid laner and is really nice in this meta game. He has just been all over the place, and his ultimates have landed on multiple people every single time. And I would expect Amumu to be banned, because I don't think Wukong was the problem here as much as it was Amumu getting in there and allowing Wukong to get off his full duration ultimate on multiple people. But it might be worthy of a ban. I'm not totally sure. It has just gone incredibly well for this Wukong and the entire M side, as we do have Ezreal sitting at 6-1-7 and picked up the Status Shiv and Bloodthirster. Looks like we're going to Haunting Guys up onto Lulu next. We do have likely going to be a Last Whisper up onto Wukong next. Sunfire Cape has been completed onto Amumu, as we are going to likely have a Frozen Mallet up onto Olaf, or another Cerullea's Reverie, as it wouldn't be too bad. Looks like they are going to start up onto Baron at the 20-minute mark, as I don't think the Dragonborn side has a clue about it. They should be able to chunk this down really fast, as they have a lot of damage. Dax has completed a Zeal and Phage, and there is no one from the Dragonborn side even close. Looks like Xin Zhao still working on that Age of the Legion, but has not completed it. Twisted Fate picking up the Magi's and going for a Death Calf next. If he can get enough stacks on that Magi's to make it worth it, they'll have a chance to come back, but I don't think they are, as they're just going to get slowed a little too much. And there's the jump in by Mumu. Nice Stone ultimate onto, but it does mean Jackson's going to get pretty low. Xin Zhao does jump in and pop the ultimate, but everyone is safe. The problem is there were several flashes burned there by Sona, and they're not going to be in good shape as Ezreal does jump in. Ezreal will be caught out, but he does flash over the wall. He does take a good bit of damage towards the Fate, but he misses those cards at the end. And the entire red side does rotate up top, finishing off the tower, and they could go for the inhibitor. Olaf jumping in there and getting popped by the Lulu ultimate means he is basically unstoppable. Another beautiful Amumu ultimate, so that people can get finished off as Olaf does jump in there. Will he actually be able to get onto Jax? Yes, he will, as the slows come across, and they are finished off by Lulu's Ignite. This means the first inhibitor will go down. And this has just been an absolute wonderful game for him, as Dragonborn has not had an answer to basically any lane, really. The Wukong got a few early kills, meant he was absolutely legendary all game long. Looks like we are going to see another tower taking down mid as Wukong jumps in onto Sivir, and Sivir absolutely blown to pieces. Sivir not having a single chance in this game. She has just been shut down the entire game and has gone for basically a lane sustain build, but has not been able to get any real damage going. Looks like we are going to have the death cap finished on Twisted Fate, but it is not going to be enough at this point. 2 inhibitors are down. The red side does have Baron buff. Wukong will do a good bit of damage as he jumps in, almost killing Twisted Fate, but he is forced to flash out there at the last second because they just overextended a little too much. A move with the bandage toss onto Jax, and he does have his flash up, but I don't think he wants to use it. He might have to. Wukong does jump in, and he's pretty low. He is taken down by Sona. The Sona being the only one picking up kills this game, or that's what it feels like. But Olaf has picked off another kill. Looks like Sivir's going to try and get on Lulu, and there is Sona with a double kill. Triple kill for Sona, and this Sona might actually have the potential to carry this game. She's sitting at 6-5-7, the only one positive on her team. And there's the Israel ultimate going across. Olaf has come back, and he will be able to pick off the Sona as Israel does Arcane Shift over the wall to finish it off. And yeah, Sona sitting at 6-6-7, not who you want the kills to go on. While on the M side, you have Wukong and Israel picking up most of their team's kills, with a few other ones kind of scattered throughout. But yeah, when most of the kills are going to the support, kind of as afterthoughts, it feels really bad for your team. They have a few kills elsewhere, but they're not the important kills that are really needed. And Israel will be able to beat out Xin Zhao. Will Twist of Fate get in range? His flash is not up, but he does decide to go in range, but Israel lands a crit. And that might be the death Twist of Fate. Yes, it is, as Jax does try and duel Israel, and Israel will get the win here, as Wukong does jump in and burns his Sivir for massive damage. That should be good game in favor of him. Really just dominating from the word go, and having a much better level 1 strategy. And that level 1 fight really spelled the doom, as it allowed Wukong to get ahead, and Wukong snowballed this game so incredibly hard. If you want to see a good how to play Wukong, pick this game up. This is an absolute thriller for Wukong. And it looks like the red side of M will actually be able to just finish this game off. They might even try and tower dive a little bit, but I don't think it matters at this point. They're so far ahead. Final score is going to be announced in just a moment, as they look like they're going to be fighting instead of actually going for the Nexus. But there we go, as they are finishing off some of those kills. And there we go. Final score being 15-31 in favor of him, with a 20,000 gold lead, 11 towers to none. And that was just a snowball. That early game fight really shut Xin Zhao down. He set it 0-9-8. And really every single one of his ganks just felt pitifully weak. He was level 2 for virtually ages. And that's just what happens when you lose a level 1 team fight. Pretty convincingly. And have your buff stolen. And have the jungler die so he can't actually get a lot of help pulling the first buff. It was just pretty terrible all around for the Dragonborn side. They just did not have a chance in this game, outside of Twisted Fate doing something miraculous. But he never got the opportunity to do a good ultimate. Wukong was always there to kind of stop him from doing anything. Thank you for watching Games Cast by Pan and Aurel. For more commented games, please visit my YouTube and stream channels.